I knew right then and there, just having a conversation where I was like 7 years into financial advice and with a history of understanding the 1% rule, I said, number one, that looks insane on paper because the 1% rule would say I should be able to rent this for about $530 a month. So if I can buy something for 900 bucks and if I can buy something for $53,000 and rent it for $900, I'm going to get inducted directly into the Real Estate Hall of Fame. Like, there's no way that is not the best deal in the history of the world. However, as someone who's bought some real estate and had some rentals and dealt with some rentals, I automatically knew it was a bad deal. Like, any operator who's ever dealt with rental real estate can look at that and say that's a bad deal. And it's because it was in 2016 and Detroit, and because it was dirt cheap. And in that moment, that then, real estate in Detroit was in terrible shape still. His house was in a block, and a block that was totally like burnt out and boarded up. All right, the houses were beat. The market was beat. It was the wrong market, wrong place, wrong time. And so with that being the case, I knew right then it was a terrible, terrible deal. And I said, oh, you probably, have you already bought this? I didn't want to like poop on his thing if he was already in, and he was already in. And so over the next 2 years, while I was still giving financial advice and while I was still his consultant, right? We talked about that property, and he had to evict that property 4 times in 2 years. Each time he spent about $4,600 to evict, and then luckily for him, the property burned down. And the insurance company paid him $88,000. When the property burned down, I asked him, are you going to rebuild? So after 4 evictions over 2 years, $4,600 an eviction, the house burned down, and he got paid $88,000 from insurance. Oh, how. And I realized that the problem with this property, the problem with the model for single-family residential, for these turnkey houses, is that rich uncles either didn't know this was a bad deal, or they didn't care that it was a bad deal.